Listen to that. Oh, that is so good. Yes. Yes, I love it. We all know that producing good, high-quality ambient music is hard, like extremely difficult, but it doesn't have to be. But for beginners, knowing the basics of sound design, which chords to use, and how to take simple concepts and make them into full arrangements can be really challenging. So that's what we're going to focus on here in today's video. Speaking of, this video is sponsored by, well, me and my new sound set, Ancient Technology 2 for Serum. So if you like the sounds that you hear in today's video and you get inspired, make sure to click on the link down below in the description to pick up Ancient Technology 2 for Serum. By doing so and picking up this sound set, you're helping to support this channel as well. That being said, welcome in everyone. My name is Chris from Signs of Life. I'm an ambient music producer, sound designer, and content creator. So make sure you smash that like button on the way in and subscribe to this channel with the bell notification on so you can keep up to date with everything in the Signs of Life universe. That being said, let's get into it. Ambient full track walkthrough, friendly for beginners. Cheers and enjoy. What's up guys, Chris here from Signs of Life, back again with another ambient tutorial. In today's video, we are gonna go straight old school and just start building an ambient track from scratch so you guys can get a better handle on how to work on your arrangements, as well as dig into the finer details of what this style of music is all about. So I've got a track here that I've sort of started already, and this is a track where I took 4 different patches from my new sound set, Ancient Technology 2, and just started building a track with them. So we're gonna pick up with the track here, and then we're gonna listen to it for a little bit, and then on the other side, let's start breaking each part down, and then we're gonna work into some arrangements and see how far we can take it. All right, so here we go. There is a lot going on in this track in just 4 individual instances of Serum. And yeah, let's start over here with track number 1. This is a instance of Stepic here. And I'm gonna go ahead and just solo this. It's attached to a patch called Simple Square, which we're gonna get to in a minute. But you can take a look at Stepic here. And Stepic is set to a randomized sequence here. Some of the slots are off, and then 1 is connected, right? 5 and 6 are connected. And this is a simple, like, minor sequence running in A sharp natural minor. Now, you can see that these 2 purple dice indicate that it's gonna be randomized in the position, but it's also gonna be making sure that there's no 2 steps that are alike, okay? You can also see that there's a purple dice down here, which is moving the octaves around. Most of them are 0, but there's 3 of them over here, which are set to +1. So every once in a while, it's gonna add a +1 to whatever note it happens to land on over here. And last but not least, the velocity here is randomized. And it's a green dice, which means there's a possibility that it could repeat the same 2 steps in a row, which really doesn't matter for velocity, but it's kind of cool because what this does is it feeds in. The reason why I chose this particular sequence is it feeds into the patch called Simple Square, which, as you can see, is pretty simple. This is from Ancient Technology 2. It's pretty simple, but the velocity does move the cutoff filter. So when you have a randomized velocity, you get a little bit more of that cutoff frequency added each and every time, which is really nice. So it's just a triangle over here and a square wave, but sometimes it doesn't need to be a lot, right? You got an extra noise slot here we could add, which can sometimes really add a lot. I didn't add any extra effects here. I could turn off the delay and reverb and add my own, for example. I kind of like the internal ones. Those are nice. So we'll keep it there. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Either way, good sound, right? Good solid sound. So that's pretty much all there is. There's multiple different plucks included with Ancient Technology too. And this is not like an advertisement for that sound set. I'm just showing you guys exactly what I used here. So let's move on to the second patch here. This is one of the soundscapes included in Ancient Technology 2. It's called Silicon Pathway. And I love the soundscapes in this sound set. I really tried to go super deep with like the textural aspects of it, adding samples here in the noise oscillator, really crazy LFOs, lots of assignments here. As you can see, the mod matrix is stacked full of assignments, and you know, utilizing the chaos modulators over here. So really deep textural stuff. I love it. It's so great. A little bit of distortion, some really useful mod assignments. You know, if you got the right wavetable, and these are stock wavetables, Razor and ReCMS 4, those are stock, right? I just added this sample over here and then started designing some LFOs, and there you have it. I mean, it's pretty stock. However, I'm very inspired by the people who can make soundscapes with Serum, because Serum is a very powerful sound design platform, but it's very limited in its, you know, it's got one filter. Well, it's got two if you count the effects filter, but you know, it's a challenge to create something really wide and deep and spacious and atmospheric, and I love the challenge. So I'm always up for it. So this is called Silicon Pathway from Ancient Technology 2. So that's our second track. Let's turn up the delay here and let it go. And our third track is over here, and this is just a simple lead patch, also from Ancient Technology 2, called The Chariot. And yeah, these lead patches have a little bit faster attack than the pads. And, you know, as you can see, the decay, sustain, and release are set rather normally, but they're a little bit higher in timbre to kind of give it that really nice, sweet Vangelis, almost like tone, right? You know what I mean? So they're meant to be played with single notes. That's what a lead is all about in my mind. So as you can see, some of the notes that I use here were just single notes played in the key of A sharp minor. I think I just penciled some of these in. Freestyle, but it sounds good, right? It sounds good. And last but not least, let's go over here. This is a very minimal bass. It's just on off, right? So we just have a simple bass hit. And this again is from Ancient Technology 2. This is the patch called Destiny. And yeah, it might be nice to have a little release on there. I'm gonna add a little release. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's where we're starting from. This is our starting point here. So let's go ahead and switch over to arrangement view here. We're just gonna click on back to arrangement up here at the top. And now let's go ahead and we're going to lay in some of these Stepic riffs. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and grab Stepic right here, switch the bar count to 16 and go ahead and take out 16 bars of it. Stepic, as you know, was updated maybe about 6 months ago to include the drag to arrangement feature. It's really nice. So I have 16 bars of randomized MIDI. That's really nice to see. So now let's go ahead and drag over that soundscape, which was nothing really complicated. It just was simple. Let's go ahead and stop that. There we go. So we're going to start it off with Silicon Pathway. That's going to be in our opener. And maybe instead of having the sequence play early, we'll drag that out to the right. And let's grab the Chariot here and make that our second sound. That's nice. Kind of sets the mood there. You know, I really encourage you to atmospheres, especially at the beginning. You know, you don't want to like overthink the process, of course. But it's important, I think, to give yourself, you know, a good opportunity, especially in the beginning, to really like dig in atmospherically to kind of set your environment, right? Where are you in space and where are you going? So I always really work on the intro a lot to make sure that, yeah, I'm happy with the first minute, because that's where you're grabbing everyone's attention, right? So let's go ahead and let's start here on track 5. And we're going to design something else to complement that soundscape. Let's go ahead and open up, say, let's use Omnisphere here. And we'll grab Omnisphere. And we're playing in A sharp. Let's let it load. There it is. And we're going to go ahead and grab a sample. Let's go ahead and grab a sample here. We're going to go into psychoacoustic. And let's start playing some of these. Turn on my push. How about, let's see, what do we feel like today? The reverse cloud 9 rumbler. What's this? Ooh, interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Created by editing and reversing multiple wood marambula samples to create a sustained sound. Wow. This could be really cool. Wow. Ooh, listen to that. You like that? That's cool. Oh my goodness. Screaming soundboard. Ah, yes, the old screaming soundboard. Stream sonic cold drops. Ooh, that could be interesting. Not very musical, but it could be interesting for, you know, a really high pitch kind of thing. What if we granulize that? Let's go ahead and put that through the granular engine. Put it on position. Yeah. That could work. Okay. Let's go ahead and up our attack, decay, and release. There we go. Now we're talking, right? So now we have something that resembles something ambient here. And let's put it back on speed. I like that. Increase the pitch grains, increase the smoothing, the intensity. Ooh, wow. We like that. We like that. Increase the grain depth here. Wow. Very nice. Okay. Now we could filter this out, or we could leave it as is. Filtering it would mean it kind of gives that feeling, right? But what if, for example, we took a bandpass filter and started sweeping the frequency here? Okay, let's try that. Just like that. Right? So we could find the point of the cutoff where it affects the sound based on what it is. Increase the resonance there. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. So we'll go ahead and modulate that with an LFO. By right-clicking, modulate with LFO, and we'll set our depth to exactly where we want it, which is about right there. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Okay, cool. So there's basically, I mean, we could unison this. That would be wild. That would be wild as he goes ahead and does it. Wow. Oh, that is crazy. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine what this is going to sound like with effects? So we'll go to synthesizers and we're going to go, let's see here. Balafona, what's that? Ooh, I like that. Wow. Wow. Might not be what we're going for, but still cool nonetheless. Oh yes, the old blue fizz, right? Now you want to pick something that's not going to sort of like play over that first sample, you know? There we go. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and filter that out. So it adds to it, right? We'll copy this envelope. We'll paste it over here. There we go. Nice. Let's increase the reverb and delay here. And for a sub oscillator, we'll just stick with the Juno. Nice. Okay, we'll paste it over here. Turn on filter. Oh yeah. Very nice. So you can hear that that first bandpass filter movement helped a lot. Okay. We could also put inner space on that. Just that one sample, right? Fire with gate smasher in motion, harmonic rejection. I've never used these before. Synthetic, spark, stretch leaves. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Wow, fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and lay this in now. Now I'm holding a minor, what is this? My minor 7th chord. Right there. Okay. So, for all you out there in non-push land, basically, the minor 7th is A sharp again, D flat, or yeah, D sharp, and A flat or G sharp. So those 4 notes, I mean, it's just basically a minor 7th chord. I play this chord all the time, but I love it. There we go. We can offset some of the notes. Right? So we can offset some of these. Just pull it out a little bit. Just maybe like that. Yeah. We'll delete that. Delete this. And go ahead and just, yeah. Offset the attacks there. That's nice. I like that. I like that combined with what we already have there. That is setting the mood. That's exactly what I wanted. Now over here, yep, call and response. Okay, call and response with that. Very good, very good. So you can see that once that first lead comes in, then maybe offset afterwards. That's nice. That's nice texture. Really nice texture. Okay. There we go. And we'll put a root note in here. See, this is why I really encouraged you to pay close attention to the intro. Right? Compose something that matters. You know? Give it some life. That's what I'm all about. Give it some life, man, you know? So I'm gonna stretch this out to 36 bars over here. We'll extend this out. I really love this patch that we made. It's so good. And we'll put in just some chords, some happy little accidents here. And maybe repeat some of those same chord shapes from over there. Yep. Yep, it's coming back. There we go. You can hear it. It's very nice. I like that. Extend this out all the way to 49. Okay. And now we're approaching that sequence, right? So we're looking good. We're looking good. This is gonna repeat here. Let's try this. Nice. I left that the extra noise on. Before this sequence comes in, I'm gonna stretch this out. I wanna design another sequence that's a little more predictable, shall we say. So let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and grab Stepic here. And what I wanna do is create like a rhythmic sequence. We're gonna use Serum here and just create it from scratch. I think that's what I wanna do. So let's do that just from scratch with Stepic right here, right now. We're going to go ahead and just make this A sharp number 3. We'll make it 8 steps, and let's make it natural minor. Okay. And just make something that we can predict. Like we know exactly what's going to happen here. Okay. So we could also make the octaves random, which would be cool. We can make the velocity random, which might be cool. And yeah, let's keep the steps linear, shall we say. And we're going to make this 1/8. Okay, cool. Now let's just do our standard Pluck here. 24 dB filter. Lower this down a little more. Make this our filter cutoff. Make it unipolar by Alt-Shift clicking it. And go ahead and do like this. Make this LFO also affect the cutoff filter. Make the velocity affect the cutoff filter just by a little bit. And that's your basic recipe. So again, envelope, you know, relatively quick decay there. No sustain, no hold, nothing. This one a little bit shorter, and tie that to the cutoff filter by dragging it over. And then LFO1, leaving this mode to off, making 8 bars, and making sure that it just kind of moves around and moves us back and forth here. Add some resonance, add a little drive, and we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and set this to the synth bus, increase the delay, increase a little reverb, and let's listen from right here how this sounds. Yeah. When you know, right? So that's the basic recipe there. It's just a sawtooth with those 2 envelopes set, LFO, a little bit of delay, a little reverb. You know, nothing fancy, but you can do this in Vital, you can do it in Surge XT, you can do it in Serum, you can do it in Dune, you can do it in Omnisphere. I can do it in Hive. I mean, it's like, it's just, that's the sound, right? That's the sound. That's the sound. But I like that because that gives us a good solid base to work from. Right? Now this could be something that builds, right? So let's go ahead and stop this, and we'll make this 8 bars. And let's go ahead and drag those 8 bars out. So now we have 8 bars to work with, right? Those are 8 bars of predicted MIDI, okay? So if I turn off Stepic, now we have a motif going, if you will. Right? Okay? Now the one thing we're missing is we're really missing some bass. We're missing a good, solid bass element. Let's go ahead and put that in. Now for my Vital fans out there, let's put a bass in. All right, let's put a bass. We use Vital. So let's go ahead and use Vital for our bass line. Now, what could we do with Vital that no other synth could do that would really be unique and different here? Let's go ahead and just make one of those cool Vital bass lines. All right. Now I'm going to keep the paintbrush tool on here, and you can just go ahead and just draw in some bass lines. And what I mean by bass lines is, like, imagine these were the envelopes, right? These are your attack and decay envelopes. So this is what it's going to look like. And then you're going to turn off this and hold Shift and pull these down. Okay. And now we have your basic, like, that's your bass line. And that's cool. You can tie that to the level by turning the level all the way down and now tying it to the level. Okay. So now when I hit a key, it's moving, right? That sounds like crap because why? Well, it's a little fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower it down by an octave. We're going to make this, instead of half, we're going to make it 1/1. So now that's basically a 16th note sequence, right? 2/1 would be 8th notes. Okay. Now you can hold it like that. You could do that. And you could also put this on 24. And you could tie this to the filter, which would be cool, right? Okay. Right? And now you can imagine how crazy you can go with this. Like you can start putting other oscillators on here. You can go, all right, let's go basic shapes. We'll do like this. And now we have a sub oscillator. Okay. That's not tied to the level yet. Now it's got a little more weight, right? A little more weight. We could add a little bit of touch of delay, some reverb. Okay. We could take another LFO, set this to sync mode, and put it to 4/1. Okay. Now that LFO is allowing the filter to slightly open. Okay. This is cool, right? What you don't get out of this is you don't get all those like cool velocity hits and stuff. I guess you could, it's kind of like that because these are varied heights. So you kind of get that same effect. It's not exactly the same, but it's still cool. All right. And I like that. So now let's listen to what that sounds like below all of the rest that we did. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're here. Let's go 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. It needs a little compression. We need a little compression there. Let's go ahead. Add a single band compressor. Okay. Shorten the attack. Nice. This is good. This is good. This is good. Okay. And let's go ahead and lay in one of them bars. I'll go ahead and add a second compressor as well. So let's go ahead and add one bar here. Add this all the way over. Very nice. And we will add the Pro C2. Okay. Cool. Add a little gain there. Hear how it's all coming together now. Wow, with the random sequence in there. Oh, that's nice. I like that. I like that. And now you can have that sequence come in, right? Right? And so this could be another stop along your journey, right? This could be something that you just, all of a sudden that world emerges. And maybe this one falls away. Oh, it's so nice. Listen to that. Oh, that is so good. Yes. Yes, I love it. Right? So we're really utilizing our tools here, right? We're utilizing the power of Vital and its ability to do certain things. We didn't even get into adding a second filter here, or I'm sorry, adding a second filter, obviously. This filter could cover this, and then we could tie a totally separate sequence to that. So we could say, all right, let's go like this and like that, right? And we'll lower these, actually we'll shift, lower them all, like this. And so now this is gonna be tied to a completely separate filter, right? And maybe that could be like a higher part of the sequence. We could go like this, and we could put this into sample and hold mode, right? Make this 1/8, and tie that to the pitch of this oscillator. We're getting wild here. We're gonna enter value of, say, 12. We're gonna transpose snap these to a C minor scale, because we're playing an A sharp minor, it's not gonna matter. And now look what happens when we tie this. Did we tie that to that? Yeah, here we go. Check it out. separate sequence coming out of there. Oh, that's cool. You can hear it. We can also put another LFO panning this all around. So we'll make this bipolar and we'll make this 2/1. So now it's panning this new oscillator. We could even up the octave here. Oh, wow. Oh, that's incredible. Right? We'll call that vital sequence. I love it. So you can see the power of all these different tools that we have at our fingertips. Like, seriously, this is just basic shapes. But with the right kind of programming here, you know, the right kind of just sequence. Like, the sky's the limit here, guys. There's nothing you cannot do. It's like, wow. This is awesome. So from here, let's sort of wrap this up. Final thoughts. From here, what I would do is I would sort of take this into different passages. Now that we have a full, like, 7 tracks built up, right? I would start laying this out. You know, we could do dummy clips in here, or we could just, you know, extend this out, give it a good, like, 8-9 minutes, and fully invest the time and do kind of arranging these things. I think less is more, and you want to make sure that your sounds are all gelling together. That's another important point that I often talk about with my students. It's like making sure that all the sounds that you're making inside of your ambient track really fit the same world. And how do you do that? Well, you make conscious choices about where these filters are affecting the sounds, right? Tying in those frequencies using send effects on your reverb and delay, that always helps. I've been doing that for years. And, you know, just building and making sure that all those different textures and elements, they come together. And when they do come together, it's magic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you found this tutorial helpful or useful, that makes my day. I'm super grateful for everybody who watches and enjoys these tutorials and who comments and likes and is subscribed to this channel. And yeah, if you want to learn more, be sure to check out my Patreon. I do tutorials like this each and every week. Those who are on my Patreon know how awesome it is over there. We have the Sine Circle track feedback group as well, which meets twice a month, and I give you personalized feedback on your tracks, as well as the one-on-one ambient coaching experience. Those who have taken ambient coaching are far and away just making leaps and bounds in their music career, so I'm so honored to be doing that with you guys. And you can check that and more. All the tiers are available over at patreon.com/signs of life.